All right, it's over. It's over, guys. It's all right. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging in there through that intro video. We appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. The whole show. That's all of it. That's it. Saturdays are a bit more relaxed. Kind of go back through the week, kind of see what was going on. A little bit of stuff going on this week, that's for sure. No, not ready yet. Hang on. I need to get my producer back in here. Hey, one of the benefits of having a Saturday morning little shindig, whatever you want to call this here, is that I don't have to get up and drive my kids to football. Faith has to do it. She's not a fan, I'm sure. It's too early. It's too early. Not exactly a morning person. I better be careful. I'm going to get in trouble. ICE did something in Katanning, which is close to me. I thought was pretty interesting. A couple videos here. I guess the DMV there got overrun. I'm not sure exactly what happened. We're going to work through the story here real quick. That's an excellent name. It's an excellent name. Cape Town, South Africa. What's up down there? Way down there in that. All right, let me bring this up. I was going through this morning, so I haven't watched all these videos, but apparently there was a lot of illegals that went to the DMV in Katanning. And I want to see what exactly what went down. Hang on.
They come. Well, they already got the license plates. Look at that shit. Look at the fuck what they get.
Oh, I guess they're all going to swear a lot.
What the cost? What? Over there?
It either was that there was a lot of people that looked like illegal aliens at the DMV and the people called, or it was a setup. I've heard both stories.
They're all from, is that Jersey?
They come.
Yeah, a bunch of out-of-state plates and stuff. So I guess ICE got involved. I'm going to play this video of this guy going through. There, hang on 1 second. There we go. The caption says, oh, come on. Saturday morning, man, things don't work the way they're supposed to. ICE carried out a major operation in Katanning, PA. They sent letters to truck drivers. I don't know if this is true or not. I haven't verified. I've heard both stories. They sent letters to truck drivers about renewing their CDLs, prompting them to show up at the DMV. Agents then moved in and detained dozens of undocumented migrants. Let's see here. I guess that picture on the bottom is them running when ICE was involved, got there, started chasing people down.
Hey, where are you guys from? China. You don't look like China. You live in Katanning. You guys from Katanning?
Such a Pittsburgh accent there.
This will be all over the media. Hey, good to see all you guys. Where are you from?
From Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan.
Where?
Pakistan. You live in Katanning. Got a lot of visitors today, don't we?
We do.
Where are y'all from?
You're not allowed to be photographing it here.
Well, then you're going to have to call.
You have to call the police. Yeah, you are. I believe you are. It's a public building. It's a public building. I believe you're allowed to film there. Apparently ICE moved in. Oh, here's one more clip here. Apparently ICE moved in and went through and took care of the problem. Because yes, this is a problem. No, we're all still MAGA morons, man. Don't even waste your time. Probably shouldn't even bother wasting your time, right? Yeah. It's on the way back out again. So anyway, I guess ICE came and arrested a whole slew of them. Amazing. Wonderful. Perfect. That's beautiful. I'm glad. As well they should. As well they should. Who knows how many of them would have gone to have killed Americans on the street somewhere because they don't know what they're doing behind the wheel or can't read the street signs or whatever other reason that they gave for why they end up killing people on the street. No license for you. Yeah, right. It's a shame that that's even a problem. It's been a crazy week. There's a lot of people want, Trump came out and talked the other day. I spoke about this a little bit the other day, but Trump came out and spoke about Iran. I don't know who was here on Thursday night. It seemed to me that whole speech was, I went over this, was a very rehashing. It seemed like it was just rehashing the same talking points. And it's true. It was kind of boring. He seemed kind of tired. I probably would be too if I was still talking about the same thing. But then I forgot, and I started thinking about it the next day, was that a lot of Americans don't really hear Trump speak. They don't hear it right from Trump's mouth. So whenever he has the opportunity to go on to these nightly addresses, evening addresses from the White House or whatever. A lot more people listen that don't normally listen. So he has to get that message out. Do I agree with it? I don't know. I don't think. I'm not sure. I hope they were out of there soon. Before they did the speech, I said he's probably got about 2 weeks. And then he came out and said 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and they want to be out of there. And we better be out of there, just out of there. We have to watch it, though, because former New Zealand Prime Minister, like who gives a crap, Jacinda Ardern, I don't know how to say the name, says free speech is a weapon of war and censorship. This is what's coming next. Censorship is necessary to protect free speech. That's right. You heard me correctly. Censorship is necessary to protect free speech. Just amazing.
This week, we launched an initiative alongside companies and nonprofits to help improve research and understanding of how a person's online experiences are curated by automated processes. This will also be important in understanding more about mis- and disinformation online, a challenge that we must, as leaders, address. Sadly, I think it's easy to just...
the emotional tone. That's part of the act, right? You gotta have that emotional tone. She's just there to try to help. She just wants to help. Are you in the wrong chat, hillbilly?
dismiss this problem as one in the margins.
Could be bouncing
I
around
can certainly understand the desire to leave it to someone else. As leaders, we're rightly concerned that even the most light touch approaches to disinformation could be misinterpreted as being hostile to the values of free speech that we value so highly.
Yeah, you value it so
While I
highly.
cannot tell you today what the answer is to this challenge, I can say with complete certainty that we cannot ignore it. To do so poses an equal threat to the norms we all value. After all, how do you successfully end a war if people are led to believe the reason for its existence is not only legal but noble? How do you tackle climate change if people do not believe it exists? How do you ensure the human rights of others are upheld when they are subjected to hateful and dangerous rhetoric and ideology? The weapons may be different, but the goals of those who perpetuate them is often the same: to cause chaos and reduce the ability of others to defend themselves, to disband communities, to collapse the collective strength of countries who work together.
Yeah, that's what
But we
it is.
have an opportunity
Right?
here
Blah, blah, blah.
to
That's
ensure that
exactly
these
it.
particular weapons of
Christian
war do
Pakistan.
not
I think that's at
become
the
an
UN.
established part of warfare. In these times, I'm acutely aware of how easy it is to feel disheartened. We are facing many battles on many fronts, but there is cause for optimism. Because
you're not in power anymore. Because you're not in power anymore. Free speech needs protection. Free speech needs protection. When I was in the military, I remember we had a soldier. I had a soldier in my squad. I'll give you a little bit of information about him. I had a soldier in my squad who was born in America, moved to China before his first birthday, and then moved back to America when he was 17 so that he could join the military. Interesting. Breaking: the Chinese American brother and sister accused of planting a bomb at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa Bay, Florida on March 10th were born in the U.S. to Chinese illegal aliens.
The FBI says
citizenship now.
Just breaking moments ago, the FBI indicting a brother and sister in connection with the placement of an explosive device at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. The FBI says Alan Zhang, who is believed to have planted the device, is currently in China.
The device did not detonate, but minutes after the device was planted, a 911 call reported that a bomb had been placed on the base. When that phone call came in, no location for that bomb was in fact given in that 911 call.
The device was found on the base 6 days later. Thankfully, no one was hurt. FBI Tampa also arresting the suspect's sister,
6 days
and
later.
Mary Zhang, who is charged with accessory after the fact and tampering with evidence. No motive was given, but MacDill Air Force Base is the headquarters of U.S. Central Command. It's just breaking moments ago. The FBI indicted.
That's wild. Zhang. That's interesting. I didn't hear that before in the story. So there was I love how people come in and ask questions like Trump's here to answer questions. So to a brother and sister, Chinese, this guy looks to me, I'm going to look into this a little bit further, because the guy who happened to be in my squad back in the day, his name was Private Zhang, Zhang. I wonder if that's what these guys, how they spell their name. Anyway, so the guy I'm thinking of, I used to mess with him a good bit. He was in my squad. I was a squad leader, and he would come. He was born in America. He moved to China before he was 1 year old. Then he moved back to America, or the parents, whatever, moved back to America when he was 17 so that he could join the army at 18. Now, this was towards when I was about to get out, so I only was around him for a couple months. Actually, he kind of disappeared. I'll get to that story in just a minute. That's actually kind of crazy. But yeah, should that be allowed? Should that be allowed? I don't know, man. I don't know. If you were born in America, but you didn't grow up here, you didn't live here, should you be allowed to just come join the military? I don't know. I don't think. I didn't like it then, to be honest with you. It's just something seemed always off. I always used to mess with the guy. I used to go up to him, and he'd be standing there in the squad, and I put my hand on his shoulder, and I just look him in the eye and be like, "You okay? Everything all right?" And he'd just get very weird. He'd be like, yeah, yes, everything very, very, just very weird about it and everything. Didn't like being touched. I'm sure that's kind of why I did it, because I thought it was funny and whatever. But I gotta say, he kind of looks like that guy would look now, I think. But then again, you know what I'm gonna say. Anyway, we are being destroyed from within. A lot of this, the fighting and the infighting and stuff, right? There's a lot of infighting. I talked about that Thursday night too. All this infighting is really not very helpful. It's really not very helpful. I'm sick and tired of it, to be honest. I touched on this on Thursday night, and yeah, this is kind of a review show. So yeah, I'm gonna touch on it again if that's all right with you guys. I hope that's all right, guys. And you have to remember,
these people are crazy.
Yep, 100%. They're crazy. They're crazy. It seems to me that the same tactics that work on the left are now working on the right, even as just as effectively, to split us up and to have us fighting with each other. I went over all the people. Donald Trump's fight with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Candace Owens fighting with Turning Point. Ben Shapiro's fight with Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson's fighting with Laura Loomer. Tim Pool's fighting with Candace Owens. Milo's fighting with Benny. Elon's fighting with Trump. Donald Trump's fighting with Massey. Jones is fighting with Trump. The Krasenstein brothers are all over X, splitting everybody up. Trump's fighting with this person. This person's fighting with that person. Steve Bannon's fighting with Laura Loomer. Steve Bannon's fighting with whoever. Laura Loomer's fighting with whoever. Everybody's fighting with everybody. Who cares? Who cares? We have to be able to just ignore some of that stuff. We have to be able to do it, or it's just going to drive us. It's just going to be effective at that point. Then it's going to keep to drive us apart. It's going to keep putting wedges in between us. It's going to keep making us split up. You know, I posted this video the other day because I saw it online. I thought it was funny. Supposed to be Dan Bongino and Ivan. It's kind of funny. Does it mean that I get behind all this stuff and I think that all this stupid fighting should matter? No. Who cares? You know who the Bongino / Massey thing benefits? Bongino and Massey. I don't care about them fighting. I don't care about Ivan and Bongino fighting. I don't know them. I don't watch Bongino anymore. He used to be on the radio. He does his podcast and stuff. I liked him. I appreciated his his reporting on the Butler shooting and it was President Trump. I enjoyed that. I thought it was good. He had some insight on the Secret Service and how that stuff works on the inside. But that doesn't mean I'm going to jump into the arena and throw my reputation on the line to back up Giant Dan Bongino. No. Nor would I do that for anybody else because I don't know them. I'm not really a fan of Massey's either, but guess what? I don't live in Kentucky. So I'm going to let the people in Kentucky figure that one out. That's got nothing to do with me. I'm not a fan, but it's not my call. I'm not going to waste my time on it. That's what we have to start understanding, or we have to start saying out loud. I'm not going to waste my time on it. Which means the chances of you being influenced into hating someone that you don't even know or liking someone that you don't even know goes down, because that's just being a puppet at that point. Liking some, I'm not going to, there's things that Dan Bongino says that I agree with 100%. There's things he says I disagree with. Guess what? I'm allowed to do that. I can disagree with President Trump and still support President Trump. I can disagree with LGBT stuff and still have a conversation with an LGBT, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm trying to say. I can still have that conversation because I've learned not to give a fuck about certain things. I'm not going to let these stories take me down these long. I'm not going to spend my time researching them. I'm not going to look into them. I don't care. There's already so many of these conservatives peddling the same garbage out there right now. It's the whole system's full. It's just all about engagement. Whoever the loudest rage baiters are out there, they get the attention. That's it. To be fair, not every podcaster is a grifter. Not all of them do that, but you see it all the time. If the first thing if your whole bio is donate to my Cash App, donate to my Cash App. If that's the first line in your bio, you're probably a grifter. If you're always talking about follow, share, yada, 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 if you're always pushing that stuff, if you're constantly about it, so, rage baiting people into clicking on your stuff like Benny Johnson does, for instance, then you're just being a puppet. No one looks into these people anymore. No one cares about who these people are. The people that used to be in the news used to be people that, had to have credentials, whatever. Now, granted, the media is corrupt. I get it. The media is corrupt. But there was a certain standard you had to meet before you could go and become a media personality. The nation would look at that person, whether they agree with them or not, and go, well, at least they reached this certain level of qualifications or whatever. They've reached this standard to be able to be on the news. You have to be certain trustworthy. You have to have a certain level of intelligence, yada, yada, yada. Those things aren't in play anymore. Don't get me wrong. They're not in the news at all. You don't have to be a certain level of intelligence. That's pretty clear. All you have to do is watch Morning Joe. However, now we don't have that. Now we have people that, I got a phone. So now I have a show. I mean, I shouldn't talk, right? I have a show. I have a phone and I have a show, right? But none of us look back into these people's histories. No one pays any attention into who are they? Where are they getting their opinions? Do they sit in jail for 5-10 years and then get out and all of a sudden they're this new person now? No reform in the jail, but then they got out and said, I can monetize my experience, whether that's for good or bad, doesn't matter. Good, because they're going to make money, right? It's the same thing as you don't want to judge, but you also have to. I had a good analogy I'll hit you up with later, but you don't want to judge. I don't want to judge people's hearts, and that's not up to me, but it's important to know some of the past stuff. Hey, is this person someone who is a Democrat or a liberal their whole life, and just when MAGA came, all of a sudden they're super duper MAGA now? Grifting influencers are dividing our side. It's mostly because of the followers that are behind them. You had some that were confidential government informants. Why would you trust someone like that? That doesn't seem very noble. One, why would you trust people like that? Why would you trust people that have taken money from Russia to push their agendas? Why would you trust in people that took money from Israel to push their agendas? Israel doesn't give us any money, just so you know. We don't get any money from anywhere. So hey, that's why we do what we do. I try to sell stuff so that way you get something. I'm not out here like, hey, just give me money. Give me money and support my mission. So there's very low barriers to be able to get out there and have a show nowadays, which creates a flooded space full of grifters chasing clout, pumping up their egos, going on each other's shows and shouting each other out and sharing each other's audiences and trying to lend validity to people that don't deserve any. Like for instance, I talk about those clowns that were out there at Portland at the ICE facility. Every night a new soap opera, every night a new little thing, every night this and that, But those people are out there actively engaging in it to try to get those things to happen so that they can have those viral moments, so that they can get those people watching, so that they can get those donations. Then they go out there and they make a podcast, and all of a sudden they're just experts. They're experts and they're patriots. And you know why they're patriots? You don't have to look at their long history or their long reputation of being a stand-up person. You don't have to see this long history of integrity and honor. That doesn't matter. It's because they said they are. They said they're patriots fighting for the country, so that means they are. Even if they're out there dancing in the streets and doing ridiculous stuff and trying to get people to get viral reactions from people, working the camera. Don't forget, you only see what they want you to see. They offer nothing and expect donations. And they get them. And that's the part of the problem too, is really it's the algorithm that pushes all that crap because it goes viral. People like to watch train wrecks. I'll compare it sometimes to people who go out there and they're a Christian all of a sudden, and that's great. That is great. And how I am not judging anybody's heart. Never would I do that. Only God can do that. But if you all of a sudden, you live a life of sin and whatever, and then all of a sudden you come to God, well, the next step in your path isn't going, hey, I'm a brand new Christian. I'm going to do a podcast about being a Christian and tell other people how to be Christian. That's not, no. You're not in a position to be teaching people about Christianity. Sure, go on there and talk about your journey, that kind of stuff. Sure, that might actually help people become Christian. All more power to you, but don't go out there and try to preach. You're not there yet. They say in the church, those are milk drinkers. You're a milk drinker when you're young in the faith. You're a milk drinker. When you get more experience in the faith, you become a meat eater. Meat eaters should stand at the pulpits. Meat eaters should stand at the be the liturgist and that kind of stuff out there. And you get into dangerous ground because you don't want to be out here saying this guy shouldn't behave that way, or you shouldn't follow this guy, or the very dangerous one, he's not doing it for the right reasons.
Shut up.
No, I will not shut up. Nancy's drinking again. I think she might still be out from last night. That's not to say that people don't deserve a voice. We all, we all have a 1A, but man, not everybody used to have such a voice, right? Didn't used to be that way. And there used to be a certain level of respect in those kind of conversations and stuff with free speech. I'm sure there's a reason that they did. Oh, let's have everybody say what they want. And they were, well, we better do the 2A then. We better put guns out there. We're going to let people say whatever they want, Going to need them out there probably. The example I made the other day was like, First of all, who am I to say they're not doing it for the right reasons, right? Of course. That's of course you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't decide. But on sometimes it's pretty obvious. I think we can agree that just doing it for clicks and the money and playing a character, lying to your people, like so many of these people have that I know personally out here that have just pretended to be a different character so they can get those clicks and they can get that views and they can get those donations because they're on a mission. You need to support their patriotic mission. It's all about a patriotic mission. One of them will sit there and write articles and ask for money and then forget to take the chat GPT prompts out of the post before he posts it, claiming to be an amazing writer, having said to me on previous occasions, accused me of using AI to write my articles. Doesn't happen. And then turns around and has chat GPT prompts still in his finished product. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are fake. They're fake. And it's okay to call it out. It's okay to call it out. I'm not out here pointing at specific names and stuff like that. I just want you to generally pay a little bit more attention to the backgrounds of these people and who you're listening to. Why should you listen to them? If someone, the comparison I used the other day was, if someone, like, say you're at church, you're in church, you're worshiping, and then say someone runs into the church in the middle of the service, right after the offertory is taken, right? They run into the church and they're proclaiming to love Jesus and be a child of God and all of that. Be a Christian. They're a Christian through and through. But they're yelling that on their way to the offertory plate, which when they get to the offertory plate, as they're still preaching about how they're a Christian and they live for God, they pick the offertory plate up and run out of the church with it. Would it be then safe to assume that that person there, without even questioning his faith, because that's the sticky part. You don't have to get into that. Really, all you have to do is focus on the actions, as we should do so much more. Rather listen to the acts, watch the actions, and not listen to the words. But it would be safe to assume that that person was there for the wrong reasons. And it's okay to say that, right? It's okay to say that running into a church in the middle of a service, grabbing the offertory plate, all while claiming your love for Jesus Christ while you steal the money, you're probably there for the wrong reasons. That's okay to say. It's okay. We're allowed to say that because it's the truth. You don't have to do background checks and all this other stuff on people before you listen to them. That's not really necessary, but just know a little bit. Know if it's like, oh, they're probably, saying that they probably have an agenda behind that. They probably think this because of that. They're trying to push this idea on. So whatever the reason is, just consider all that. Consider all that. Sources matter too. This is turned into a lecture. Let's see what Gavin Newsom has to say about it. Because Gavin Newsom, he's going to be president, guys. You got to watch out. Exactly 7 years, 2 months, and 26 days since Gavin Newsom became governor of California. California is number one in homelessness, number one in poverty, number one in retail crime, number one in gas prices, number one in illiteracy, number one in wage stagnation, number one in frivolous lawsuits, number one in unemployment. California is number two in housing costs, two in water bills, one in restrictions on workers, number one in anti-business regulations, number three in energy and electricity costs. California is number three in inequality, number one in income tax, number one in gas tax, number one in budget deficit, number two in educational inequality, number one in COVID school shutdowns, number one in COVID business shutdowns, number one in COVID mandates, number one in illegal border crossings, number one in funding for illegal immigrants, and number one for people leaving the state. Gavin Newsom put an ad out pushing his campaign, I guess. I'm not sure what he's doing. that someone out went ahead and took some liberties and added a few things to it that I thought might be appropriate.
As your governor, I promise you, whatever challenges come our way, I will always lead the California way.
You literally insane.
I say that's the California way.
You guys are really awesome. Thank you so much.
Based on compassion,
I mean, if we're gonna be realistic, they pay you to be homeless here.
common sense. Clean and sober is one of the biggest damn mistakes this country's ever made. We all need to self-medicate periodically. Telling the truth.
Wow.
Telling the truth. Treasuring our diversity.
Use the fist to hit my.
Telling the truth.
Telling the truth.
Following science. Protecting our planet.
Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey.
Gavin Newsom, courage through crisis.
As your governor, I promise you, whatever.
Joe, what do you say there? Why is Trump at? Oh wait, that's not the right one. Let's see. Another Army general was fired. How many jets went down yesterday? I thought one, maybe two. Was it the second one? I thought I saw something about a second one this morning. Generals don't just leave or get fired after serving their whole lives to get to that point. What's the question? Who cares? Who cares? They can fire and hire any general they want to. I don't care at all. I don't care. I don't care. I know that you have to find some hang up. You got to find something. I know you got to ask us questions as if we are as if we're the ones in the office, you know? It doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't care how many generals and admirals leave. Don't care. Doesn't matter to me one bit. Doesn't change my opinion. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Doesn't matter. He was head of the army. Don't let the chat start looking like this. Oh. Probably should say that again. Maybe Saudi Arabia has the right idea. Have they let women drive there yet? I don't even know. We had the Raging Cajun going on. He's making the news. Actually, it's listed as entertainment. It's actually listed as actually, it's listed as entertainment. Actually. I try not to do just straight politics. It just brings people down. What were they all saying? Hang Mike Pence. Trump throws anyone to the wolves if they don't go on with his cult. He had a responsibility that day, and he didn't do it. It wasn't unreasonable for him to hold up the counting there, but I don't know. What was that 30 pieces of silver he got when he was up there? I'm curious about that. He's saying, I don't care is weak. Why is it weak? It's just, I don't care. I don't care about the generals he fires. I don't care about any of that stuff. We gave him the presidency. That's his prerogative. I don't care if they fire generals. It's not going to make, oh my gosh, they fired these generals. That's terrible. I don't care. It's their prerogative. There you go. I literally just said, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I can't say how many times I don't care. I just don't care.
These people are crazy.
Indeed, they are. Oh, indeed, they are.
Listen to me, Trump. I'm going to tell you, fat fucking ass. You're getting ready to get the living crap kicked out of you. You don't know because they haven't really told you. And let me tell you something. They're gonna start breaking the news to you kind of gently, and you're gonna sit there and wonder what it feels like to be punched in the mouth by Mike Tyson. But you won't know because it's quite one thing to imagine what it's like to get punched in the mouth by Mike Tyson.
He sounds tipsy to me. I don't know about you.
It's another thing to ask to get punched in the mouth by Mike Tyson. Listen to me, Trump. I'm gonna tell you, fat.
What a thinker. What a thinker we have right there. Just amazing. Just amazing. I am going to play a little bit later the biking video that I played yesterday or Thursday because it's downright incredible. On a side note, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Then people start saying, we're going back to the moon. We're going back to the moon. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, you know, what you mean back to the moon? I'm not a necessary believer. Not really necessarily a believer.
And that radio command link actually it's a link along that tether line you see there, 25 feet of umbilical cord. That contains the life support system and communications link from the spacecraft life support system out through that chest pack.
That looks real. Totally looks real. Totally does. It's because many on the inside see the corruption and aren't going along with the Israel plan. Well, you got half right. It's that a lot of people on the inside see the corruption, so we get rid of these corrupt generals and stuff. It's good thinking. Good thinking. Good thinking. I like how you're thinking. That's good. Seems like you're evolving. That's wonderful. Maybe your time here has helped. There. That's the thing. That's the point that I make oftentimes. You know, he said, we don't know what Trump knows. We elected him to make the right choices based on what he knows. Yes, 100%. That's the thing. You have to have a certain, you can't elect people, put them in charge of your military, and then not trust them at all the time, constantly second guessing. What do you expect him to do? Do you expect him to come out and put out his war plans publicly? Is that what is supposed to happen? I just don't understand what some of these people want him to do.
Who do you think?
Fetterman said it best, which is, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that out loud just now. But he's really surprising me.
Who do you think leads the Democratic Party today?
Oh, we don't have one. I think the TDS. I think that's the leader right now. You know, right now our party is governed by the TDS, and now it's made it virtually impossible without being punished as a Democrat to agree something's good, or I agree with the other side. And I would define that by epic fury. I am literally the only Democrat in America in Congress that I've come across that's saying, I think it's a great thing to break and destroy the Iranian regime. I think it's entirely appropriate to hold them accountable. And what's strange to me that every single Democrat that's run for president and anyone that I know in Congress says we must never allow them to acquire a nuclear bomb. When that happens, why not celebrate that or acknowledge that? I have only witnessed just criticism and this kinds of attack. Like, yeah, you don't have to agree on every single thing, but when a good thing happens, just because it comes from the different party, that tells me that you're choosing the demand of the base or the party over country or what's really, I think, appropriate in that circumstances.
I cannot tell you how surprised I am with this man. Whether it's version 1 or version 2, I'm not really sure which one it is, but I am impressed with this man. I've watched him stink as a mayor in a rundown old steel town in Pittsburgh. I've seen him ascend to the lieutenant governor's position in Pennsylvania under the corrupt and tyrannical Governor Wolf. And then I saw him run for office, and in the first debate with Dr. Oz, they gave him the microphone the very first time of the thing, and he started off by saying, all right, good night, everybody. didn't go so great. But I don't have to, this is a good point here. I don't have to agree with everything John Fetterman believes. I certainly do not agree with most of his opinions. However, the man is a statesman. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. John Fetterman is a statesman. He can respect benefits from, he will call it out. He'll, like he just did there. If there's something good that happens and it was because of the other party, we can still celebrate that. We can still celebrate it. We don't have to be quiet and ignore it and push it under the rug and pretend like whatever. Oh, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. He's still got liberal views and he's still pretty far to the left on most occasions. So I don't trust him necessarily, but I am pleasantly surprised. I have to say that. I am pleasantly surprised in what he has turned out to be since he took the office of senator for Pennsylvania. I'm just impressed. Just let him keep ranting against Trump. Yeah, right. That's for Raging Cajun, I think. Yeah, I've gained a lot of respect for him over the past few months. Yeah, that's what. Again, I can't believe I'm saying it. This is what politicians should look like. This is what the founders had in mind. People like him and Mark Wayne Mullen, average Americans who started a business or worked in the field or whatever. They know what it's like to be a struggling American out there. Most of them. Some of them. Some of them don't. Like, some of them are raised with a silver spoon in their mouth. But these people that are the regular Joes are supposed to be the ones that go out and serve in our government. Then they're supposed to do something that is absolutely crazy. You don't see it very often. After they serve, they're supposed to go home. They're supposed to serve a term or two, and then they're supposed to go home. And when they go home, they're supposed to live under the laws that they created for us. They're supposed to also live under those same laws. It's mind-blowing. I know it's mind-blowing, but I know that's the way that the founders wanted it to be.
Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. That's what they said, bro. Bro. Fetterman understands that cheap gas means nothing after a nuclear attack. Yeah. I have to agree. I'm sure there was some fear mongering going on there with Iran. You need to get some fear mongering going on. You have to have a little fear mongering going on to get the people motivated to go out there and support a war. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think Mullins is a snake. Mark my words, he will reveal himself. I agree. I don't think he has the temperament. I don't think he should be there. Whenever that first came up, I remember I played the video of him challenging somebody to a fight, like he was in an actual congressional hearing or some hearing, and he challenged the witness that they had in there to a fight. That's childish behavior. I'm not a fan of his, to be honest with you. I'm not at all by any means. Am I like, yay, what Mark Wayne Mullen's in charge now? Everything's going to get fixed. Yeah. This is an example of when recovering from a stroke has had a good effect on an individual. Hey, did anyone ever see the video when they had him come in and it was clearly a different person, and he was missing the whole arm tattoo on his arm, and I'll have to see if I can find it. That was interesting to me. Were you there? Was I where? I don't know if it's talking to me or not. Yeah, that's it. How many years did Obama and Clinton serve? I don't know. Long time, right? They were career military, right? Huh. Fetterman. So yeah, Fetterman's been surprising, I have to say.
I'm not apologizing.
See this video that was kind of interesting. So there's a Sarah Gonzalez. She works on the Blaze, I believe. She found an Indian man in Texas that was brought over on an H-1B visa to work a tech job. And turns out that was fraud, and instead he's running a food truck. So she goes and she confronts him about it. And it's a pretty interesting little video here.
Apologizing to you for anything. You should apologize to me for scamming our system. A man here on an H-1B visa, supposed to be working some IT tech job, who is actually running a food truck company under his wife's name. The H-1B worker comes in, he brings his H-4 dependent, his wife. So the wife typically is getting authorization to work, opening up a bunch of businesses, and then the husband secretly runs them, even though it is illegal. H-1B visa workers are not allowed to work anywhere other than the place that is sponsoring them. Hey, Naveen. Hi, do you own this business?
No, my wife owns it.
Your wife owns it. Where's your wife?
She's at home.
She's at home? Well, what does she do for the business if you're working here and she's at home?
I'm not working here. I'm trying to help her set up something.
Well, I just watched you take someone's order.
I'm off my duty, so I cannot help my wife or what?
You're not supposed to work anywhere else.
I'm not working. Do you think I'm getting paid
I just watched you work.
Do you think I'm getting paid
I just watched you work. It is against H-1B rules for you to be working here.
I know it. I know my rules. I know my rights.
You post yourself as a business owner on the permit. Read it, Naveen. Read it. Applicant, Naveen Tumala.
Yes, I am.
Business name, Golconda Express. Business owner, Naveen Tumala. Right here. Your permit that you applied for shows you as the owner.
That's all.
It shows you as the business owner.
I helped her filling up the application. What's wrong in it?
What do you mean what's wrong with it?
My wife or what?
No, you can't. You can't be the business owner here on an H-1B visa. You're the one who's here. You're the one who's working, and you're signing permits as the business owner. And you're telling me you have nothing to do with the company?
In my off hours, that's my family.
You should apologize to me for scamming my system. That's what you should apologize for.
I didn't scam your system.
Yes, you are. You're coming here. You're working every single day. You are running this entire thing and pretending like it's your wife's business, and it's not. And do you know what? All of this is going straight to USCIS and the Department of Labor because Americans are tired of this. We are tired of you scamming our system. You're literally working here. I know it's fine. I don't need your permission. I'm an American.
Good for her. Good for her. It would be beneficial to have more people standing up like that. You know, just that won't take it anymore. In 1993, Harry Reid, I believe he was the speaker back then, or if not, he was the leader of the Democrats in the Senate, brought a bill to end birthright citizenship for illegal aliens. You believe that? A Democrat?
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough, how about offering a reward for being an illegal immigrant? No sane country would do that, right? Guess again. If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides. And that's a lot of services. Is it any wonder that 2/3 of the babies born at taxpayer expense at county-run hospitals in Los Angeles are born to illegal alien mothers? Just when the American people think nothing can be more absurd than the way we deal, or rather don't deal with illegal immigration, they discover that we have a political asylum system that would qualify us for Senator Proxmire's Golden Fleece Award 1,000 times over. I don't know why he didn't make this award. He should have.
Yes, he should have. You imagine birthright citizenship. Oh, some weird stuff going on. The world's crazy. It's crazy. That's all there is to it. Then you have all kinds of stuff going on. You have that lady that was one of the ones that that's why I'm on this side. I love chaos. Jeff ended in 73, 50 years. So still have to do the what is they call the register for the selective service. You still have to do that. One of my boys just had to do that. They're supposed to make it, I guess, automatic now with your when you get a driver's license, I guess.
Allegedly.
A lot of Just so you know. I saw it, so that means you have to see it. Sorry, guys. I saw it. Now you have to see it. There it is. Yeah. What a hero. What a great soldier for America. Amazing. She's a hero. Look at how she fights and sacrifices for America. Isn't that amazing? I can't even imagine that level of just amazing. Trump ran on ending forever wars. Trump united pretty much all of the Middle East except Iran. Taking out Iran leaders and destroying all military capabilities ends any possible forever war in the Middle East. Essentially, that's it. Essentially, that's it. It's not an answer that a lot of people like, but man, I'm kind of excited about what the Middle East. I mean, I really don't. I'm kind of excited to see what the Middle East will do. Maybe finally adopt the Abraham Accords, and through this whole endeavor, Trump might bring peace to the Middle East. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing if after all that he got the Nobel Peace Prize? I don't care if he gets a Nobel Peace Prize, but it would be funny. Yes. Agree. I expect Fetterman to be a liberal Democrat. I expect that. It's just refreshing to hear his comments nowadays when he seems to be a little bit more level-headed, I guess, if you want to call it that. Whatever it is, he seems to be more. Obama purged 200 white officers. Media called it leadership. Huh. Barack Obama removed nearly 200 white military officers during his presidency, accusing dozens of coup or a threat to democracy. Trump removes half a dozen officers, in the same media declares it a constitutional crisis. I'm scrolling to see some news stories, but I don't want to keep putting news stories on that are like negative and horrible and whatever. I do want to put this one on though, because like I said, the other day I watched this and I put it on and people just loved it. And it was really, really, to me, it was just damn right amazing. This ability of this guy to ride this way. I just couldn't believe it. It's impressive. It truly is impressive. So we're going to watch that because I want to. If I can ever find it, then we'll watch it. We're getting there. We'll get there soon. Soon enough. Maybe. Here we go. Here it is. I just think, I watched this in my mouth. I'm just like, wow, this is incredible. I know it's not politics, so sorry. I'll answer your comments here shortly. As soon as this video is over, I see you out there, Bold and Mike Avery. I would have been dead so many times already. I wonder how many people wiped out. We'll have to check that out. Thanks for being here. That's just ridiculous. To me, that's absolutely ridiculous. I would have wrecked on the first bend. I wouldn't have made it down the steps. We're in a quagmire right now. A Green Beret Gold Star widow national intelligence officer just resigned, and you should really listen to what they're saying. Did you listen to what they were saying? Because in that letter, that resignation letter that was on official government letterhead, didn't have any facts in it. It just had feelings. It was full of feelings and no real facts. And just because he's a Green Beret Gold Star widow national intelligence officer doesn't mean that he's absolutely 100% trustworthy. That doesn't mean that he doesn't absolutely have an agenda. I mean, you could use the same logic, say he's the president of the United States, but you still think he has an agenda, right? So we might listen to what he's saying, but then, whatever. I'm so sick of all the noise out there. All these people that want the attention, they're jumping up and down with their hands up in the air, trying to get the attention of people, trying to get on these podcasts, getting their friends to have them on, validating what they're saying, even though there's really no facts there. They're still just talking around all the facts. Without boots on the ground, a regime change will never happen. Are y'all that dumb to think that anything will change without boots on the ground? I think that the problem is a lot of these lefties and stuff are still looking at it through the eyes of Bush and forever wars and things like that. I don't think this is a forever war. I'm 100% against forever wars. However, Trump has magnificently used the military since he took office, and every time I was like, ooh, and then he did a great job. So I'm kind of like, do you have to give the people that you elected a little bit of trust? You have to give them some of that trust. You have to understand that in war, sometimes you lose soldiers, because guess what? The soldiers know that. The soldiers are well aware of that. On the same note, man, you're gonna have to have some problems when you start seeing videos of American soldiers being killed on the battlefield. That's not going to go over well with Americans. Now, Trump is very well aware of that, I'm sure. We don't want one of these videos like in Ukraine where they have the drones and you see them blowing up and chasing people. We don't want to see that with American soldiers, and I don't think that we will. As far as the boots on the ground, I imagine that's going to be few and far between, not a full-scale invasion, because they're not trying to do a forever war. And as far as the regime change goes, I think they have it right this time, where they're not going to just hang it. They're going to say he does need to get a good leader in there and blah, blah, blah. But they're not going to hang out and pick the leader and try to help them set up a government and all the other mistakes that they made in Iraq. I think this one will be different. I think he'll pull out soon, and everything will kind of go back to normal. It really blows me away how MAGA thinks. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. There's so much proof that Trump is compromised. Is it denial? Is it a lack of critical thinking? I always laugh when people are like, I don't understand why you don't see it my way. That means you're an idiot if you don't see it my way.
You sound like propaganda. Bro, pack your bags. You're going to the big shit show with your shitty brain if you're not getting paid for this propaganda.
Okay. All right. Funny. What's that even mean? They're doing ridiculous stuff to bring about the absurdity of how vicious your side is being to people that are just trying to have fun and voice their opinion. What? They're doing ridiculous stuff to bring about the absurdity of how vicious your side is being to people that are just trying to have fun and voice their opinion. Seems like projection from the left. It's amazing. It's amazing. They always commit, that's one thing. They'll say you're doing whatever. They'll accuse you of whatever it is they're doing. Trump clearly got dragged into this by Israel. Trump's taken $230 million from AIPAC since 2020. Well, I don't like that. That's no good. Well, whatever. It's the thing is you can't overanalyze every single thing. There's stupid people in government.
And who would not qualify under your rule. How does this work? Are you suggesting that when a baby is born, people have to have documents, present documents? Is this happening in the delivery room? How are we determining when or whether a newborn child is a citizen of the United States under your rule?
And I think that's directly addressed in the SSA guidance that's cited in our brief. What SSA says is there's currently a system where, for example, social security numbers are generated based on the birth certificate. They say this can still be, for the vast majority of instances, completely transparent. You will still get a...
No, not transparent. I'm just talking about the particulars, because now you say your rule turns on whether the person intended to stay in the United States. And I think Justice Barrett brought this up. So we bringing pregnant women in for depositions? What are we doing to figure this out?
No, as I pointed out earlier, the executive order turns on lawfulness of status. So if you give birth to a baby in the hospital right now, it gets the birth certificate in the system. There's a computer system.
So there's no opportunity. There's apparently no opportunity then for the person to prove or to say.
That woman is not very smart. Not very smart. You had high hopes, but we all knew. I think that was pretty much a DEI hire. Bro just said whatever about Trump taking $230 million from AIPAC. It was more like whatever to you, because like you're like, hey, Trump took this much from AIPAC. Hey, Mags, how much did Trump take from AIPAC? Hey, he took this much from AIPAC. Hey, Mags, how much did Trump take from AIPAC? Hey, he took this much from AIPAC. Gets a little bit of repetitive. You start to get dismissed a bit at that point whenever you just constantly. I think parents should be citizens for a child to receive citizenship. 100%. 100%. It says more about the people that, like, if I wouldn't sit and watch someone that I thought had horrible discernment. I wouldn't be interested in the show. This man was angry because there was an ICE presence at a Marine graduation at Parris Island, South Carolina.
Yo, listen up. I just got word about what's happening at Parris Island, and as a retired Navy chief, this one hits the home front. We are seeing ICE agents stationed at the gates of Marine Corps graduation.
It's a cool narrative that you're painting about me.
Now, I don't give a shit where you stand on immigration policy, but there is a sacred line you do not cross. That line is at the gate of a military installation on graduation day. These young men and women have just spent 13 weeks in the dirt earning the title of United States Marine. They are ready to truly bleed for this flag. And what do? We meet their families at the gate with the fucking screening process that treats people who raised our newest defenders like a security threat. I've seen Americans who spent their 4 years in college talking about how much they...
Are they supposed to get a pass? Are they supposed to get a pass? Are they supposed to be allowed to be illegal aliens because they're kids? Like, I don't understand what his point is.
Hate this fucking country. And then I've seen the families who've risked everything to be here, whose sons and daughters are now standing on the parade deck, ready to give their lives for our freedom. You do not fuck with the military. You do not interrupt the one moment a family has to see their Marine. If the mission of ISIS is to stop criminal activity, then go find the fucking criminals. Don't find the mother and father sitting in the bleachers of Parris Island watching their child swear on the oath of the Constitution. This is a leadership failure. It's a respect failure, and it's a disgrace to the uniform. You're better than this. Semper Fi, Marines. To the new ones that just put that uniform on today, you deserve this. Better than that, you guys are the front line to our freedom, and hoorah.
That they deserve it. They worked hard for it. Good for them. But if their parents are illegal aliens, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Because we're a nation of laws, not of emotions. We're not a nation of men. We're a nation of laws. Yeah, that's true. People bad talk Trump when Obama deported 3 million illegals and brought back racism and brought back the worst healthcare ever. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. We have a winner. People don't pay attention to any of that stuff. They don't care. Their memories are very short. This is why I'm saying, like, you can see people like the ones that were like, oh, Trump's cognitive abilities are compromised. We need the 25th Amendment. We got to get him out of office. He's out of control. But they didn't do that with Biden. They ignored Biden, ignored his cognitive absence the whole dang presidency. He was like that when he was running for office. So they ignored all that. But then they turn around and say Trump had, that's where Trump has repeatedly forced the left to expose themselves over and over and over again. Things that they supported under Biden or ignored under Biden, they refuse to do under Trump, and it just exposes them. I don't think he should take any money from AIPAC. I don't support that he takes money from AIPAC. I don't like AIPAC. I don't like that there's any of that going on. I don't like that there's a lobby. I don't like that there's other foreign nations that are trying to influence our people and our government. And I really don't like how soft and easily manipulated the people in Congress actually are. So no, I don't think he should take money from AIPAC. I know that you said that I support it or don't care about it or whatever it is, but it's okay. I'll paint my own opinions. You paint your opinions and I'll paint mine. All right. You leave mine alone. I'll decide what mine are. You can decide what you are, blah, 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 blah. Bro brought back racism, in my opinion. Yeah, he did Obama did. Obama did. Racism was worse at the end of his presidency than it was when he started. Good morning, Coffee Galaxy. Let me get back down to the bottom of the chat here. MAGA is way over their head now. The true MAGA has seen the light and have broken with Trump. What's that even mean? The true MAGA. I like how they decide what we do. Yeah, don't care about the fraud. Don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care about that. Just get Trump. Get Trump out. Hey, how do I feel about an opinion? Well, I don't know. What's Trump say about it? Okay, I'm the opposite. Whatever it is, I'm the opposite. It's the same stuff whenever they rightfully struck down abortion. The people are so stupid out there. Yes, the people are so stupid, so subverted, so moronic. There's a couple of them in the chat now. That they believed that they eliminated abortion altogether. They didn't, but that was what the propaganda said too. That was all about scaring people. But all they did was put it back in the state's hands, as the Constitution dictates. That's what they're supposed to do. That's constitutional. But the left would come out and say they're getting rid of abortion all across the country. Blah 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 blah. Mags, do you think the jab is good for people? No. Pretty sure you already knew the answer to that. Yeah, essentially, IQ test. A lot of people got forced into it, though. Like, I have a brother that got forced into it. He was going to get laid off or he had to take the dang thing. I happened to work for myself at the time, and I do once again now, thank God. So I didn't have to do any of that crap. I didn't have to. I didn't have a boss tell me you either take this or you're going to be fired. I just had to find work, but I couldn't do that because, so I paid my prices the other way. something you can't understand. Yes, because liberals are so smart and they're convinced that the right is so stupid. That's don't you get it? That's so tired, man. Don't you see that you're just a puppet when you say stuff like that? You can't understand because you're not smart enough. Or blah 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 blah. Thank God I live in Australia. Didn't you have big ass COVID camps where they were force sending people there? They're coming and kidnapping them off the street and sending them to COVID concentration camps. All right. Way to give up your guns down there in Australia. That was a real smart move. Real smart. Real smart. Just trust your government. Just trust your government, who earlier the New Zealand, they were, oh yeah, we need censorship to protect free speech. Yeah, it's a great idea. It's going super duper down there in Australia. Mm-hmm. Yes, take the shot or you'll be fired. Yeah, exactly. Let me see one thing here. Oh, that's not the one I thought it was, but it's probably funny. Let's watch it. Oh yeah, let's watch this. Let's watch. It'll be fun. Let's do a blast from the past.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
I need so many cuts on that to get the dang video out. Interesting fact: the brother that had to take the jab to not get laid off still got laid off years later for different reasons, but now he's stuck with the effects of the jab anyway. Yep. I feel for those people, man, that had to do it. I get it. It's either support your family, put food on the table and get the jab, or don't get the jab and don't put food on the table. And it's like, man, dude, what a position to be put in by your own government. Trump still says he's proud of the jab and Operation Warp Speed. He's basically proud of the death jab. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't always agree with Trump. It's okay. We're allowed to disagree with Trump on our side. We're allowed. We're allowed. It's okay. I think that was a horrible idea. I think it was poison to the people. I think Trump listened to the wrong people. And I think that at this point, he can't be like, you know what? That was a horrible idea. He just can't. So he has to ride. It was the one part was pretty remarkable that they got a vaccine pushed out so quick. I suppose that's remarkable. And I think that's what he's talking about when he says he was proud of it. I don't think he's proud of all the negatives. I think he's talking about the speed at which they got it out, So it's not, he's basically proud of the death jab. I get the narrative you're pushing. It's so basic. It's so basic. We all understand that he was proud of the fact that he got it out so quick. Got it, the people mobilized and got a vaccination out there in months that usually takes 5 to 10 years. That should have been a red flag. Hey, that's probably a bad idea. But still. Yeah. Funny how they call Trump a king, but Biden mandated it. Let's see one thing. Maybe I can.
Second.
Yeah, like this. I remember this one. I remember when this came out. Oh, let's talk about it.
Piece of my plan is continuing to protect the vaccinated. For the vast majority of you who've gotten vaccinated, I understand your anger at those who haven't gotten vaccinated.
I understand your anger.
I understand the anxiety about getting a breakthrough case. But as the science makes clear, if you're fully vaccinated, you're highly protected from severe illness.
Oh, yeah? Are you?
Even if you get COVID-19. In fact,
That's a lie.
Recent data indicates there is only 1 confirmed positive case per 5,000 fully vaccinated Americans.
Another lie.
You're as safe as possible. And we're doing everything we can to keep it that way. Keep it that way. Keep you safe. That's where boosters come in. The
Boosters.
shots that give you even more protection than after your second shot. Now, I know there's been some confusion about boosters, so let me be clear. Last month, our top government doctors announced an initial plan for booster shots for vaccinated Americans. They believe that the booster is likely to provide the highest level of protection yet. Of course, the decision of which booster shots to give, when to start them, and who will give them will be left completely to the scientists at the FDA and the Centers for Disease Control. But while we wait, we've done our part. We bought enough boosters, enough booster shots, and the distribution system is ready to administer them. As soon as they are authorized, those eligible will be able to get a booster right away in tens of thousands of sites across the country.
Oh, I remember when he was pushing that stuff, man. Interestingly enough, you say something about Australia's healthcare. Latest national figures, 24-25. The median wait time was 45 days. The 90th percentile. They're in the 90th percentile. 11 months, 6% waited longer than a year. Yeah, it sounds like you're really banging it up there down in Australia with your healthcare. Really amazing. Non-urgent appointments, you have to wait for a year. Wow. Category 2 within 90 days, or Category 1 within 30. Wow, that's really great. They really care about their people down there. I stand corrected. Whew. Amazing. Amazing. Remember when he had the office of the president?
Trump administration's plan to distribute vaccines is falling behind, far behind.
Remember that?
We're grateful to the company.
The office of the president-elect. There's no such thing as the office of the president-elect, but he made it up. That's just a comparison. See, they want to forget. They want to forget about Biden. They want to forget about him. They want to forget about Biden and how it all went down back then. Let's do a couple clips.
Too much of what's happening.
Let's go back and watch a little bit of it. This is the stuff that that they were pushing on us and everything. It's important to remember. Look how ominous that looks. How ominous.
What's happening in our country today is not normal.
Not normal.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Did you hear that? That's horrible.
Now, I want to be very clear up front. Not every Republican, not even the majority of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. Not every Republican embraces their extreme ideology. I know, because I've been able to work with these mainstream Republicans. But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans.
Oh, MAGA Republicans.
And that is a threat to this country.
We are a threat to the country. He was out there saying we were a threat to the
New tonight,
country.
President Biden delivered a soul in Philadelphia's Independence Hall to condemn.
Amazing. A threat to the country. I mean, we've all seen it. We don't need to keep going over it, but a threat to the country, horrible, this and that, yada yada yada. All that was coming from the President of the United States of America about other citizens. People forget all of this stuff. They don't want to watch the videos of him sniffing children or watch him angry at calling out other Americans to be mad at other Americans, dividing the country over if you were going to be a slave to the vaccine. doing it with threats of, it's very scary. You could get a breakthrough case. These people don't care about you. They're evil. They're evil. Because it goes right along with what I usually say. The right thinks the left is stupid. The left thinks the right is evil. And with that, that's a different level. Gives you all kinds of other. If you're considered evil, then anything is okay to do against you. Violence is okay to do against evil because that makes you by default good, right? You're good then. Oh, that vaccine killed more than it helped. My grandmother died from heart failure 2 weeks after she got the booster shot. I'm sorry to hear that. There was a lot of stories like that. Yeah. Y'all remember whenever he was good. We all remember this.
Going to help us out. And did you?
I mean, the silliness of what was going on back then.
Going to help us out. And did you say free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? These delicious fries? Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this.
Oh, burger element?
Let me check with Bill Neathart. Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This can be breakfast? Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again,
oh my gosh.
Some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life. But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination. Vaccination. I'm getting a very good feeling.
Vaccinations.
About vaccination right this moment. Thank you.
Unbelievable what people would do. I'll get a shot because you're going to give me a burger. I'm going to queue up a video real quick and then I'm going to run and grab my new coffee. So you're going to have to watch this just for a few minutes. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. We're going to watch this. Just give me about 2 minutes to get myself a new coffee. And I'll be right back. I know it's going to be tough to listen to. It's just a flashback. Think about how things used to be. Remember how they used to be. And how glad you are that they're not like this anymore. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes.
We hear, you've heard it, more and more talk about violence as an acceptable political tool in this country. It's not. It can never be an acceptable tool. So I want to say this plain and simple. There is no place for political violence in America, period. None, ever. We saw law enforcement brutally attacked on January the 6th. We've seen election officials, poll workers, many of them volunteers of both parties, subject to intimidation and death threats. And can you believe it? FBI agents just doing their job as directed, facing threats to their own lives from their own fellow citizens. On top of that, there are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets. This is inflammatory. It's dangerous. It's against the rule of law. And we, the people, must say, this is not who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't be pro-insurrectionist and pro-American. They're incompatible. We can't allow violence to be normalized in this country. It's wrong. We each have to reject political violence with all the moral clarity and conviction this nation can muster. Now, we can't let the integrity of our elections be undermined, for that is a path to chaos. Look, I know politics can be fierce and mean and nasty in America. I get it. I believe in the give and take of politics, in disagreement and debate and dissent. We're a big, complicated country. But democracy endures only if we, the people, respect the guardrails of the republic. Only if we, the people, accept the results of free and fair elections. Only if we, the people, see politics not as total war, but mediation of our differences. Democracy cannot survive when one side believes there are only two outcomes to an election. Either they win or they were cheated. And that's where the MAGA Republicans are.
It comes into
today.
play, though, when you actually are cheated.
They don't understand what every patriotic American knows. You can't love your country only when you win. It's fundamental. American democracy only works only if we choose to respect the rule of law and the institutions that were set up in this chamber behind me. Only if we respect our legitimate political differences. I will not stand by and watch. I will not, the will of the American people, be overturned by wild conspiracy theories and baseless evidence-free claims of fraud. I will not stand by and watch elections in this country stolen by people who simply refuse to accept that they lost.
Get mad, Biden.
I will not stand by and watch the most fundamental freedom in this country, the freedom to vote, and have your vote counted.
Get angry.
And be taken from you and the American people. Look, as your president, I will defend our democracy with every fiber of my being, and I'm asking every American to join me. Throughout our history,
Oh, I could watch this all
Americans often
day.
made the greatest progress coming out of some of our darkest moments, like your hearings at Bullhorn. I believe we can and must do that again. And we are. MAGA Republicans look at America and see carnage and darkness and despair. They spread fear and lies. Lies told for profit and power.
Yep.
But I see a different America. An America with an unlimited future. An America that's about to take off. I hope you see it as well. Just look around. I believe we could lift America from the depths of COVID. So we passed the largest economic recovery package since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And today, America's economy is faster, stronger than any other advanced nation in the world. We have more to go. I believe we could build a better America. So we passed the biggest infrastructure investment since President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And we've now embarked on a decade of rebuilding the nation's roads, bridges, highways, ports, water
joke.
system, high-speed internet.
What a joke. Where'd that one go? I had one queued up. What the hell happened to it? I don't know. There's lots of videos of his greatest gaffes. I mean, it's not hard to find them. Remember, Trump, he speaks better than Trump did. Where's he going? Where's he going? He walks just like a machine would walk. Oh.
She beat Trump so badly in the debate, he's scared to death to beat her again. That's a fact. Mr. President Trump, former President Trump, get a life, man. Help these people.
Will you hold him accountable? You said you were going to hold those accountable.
Public will hold him accountable. You better in the press hold them accountable because you know the truth.
As smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you all. I mean, so I know this sounds bizarre. It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up. Politically lock him up. But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass. I need that hat. Want my autograph? Hell no. You know my name. Come on. I ain't going that far. Yeah.
Oh,
There he goes.
he was a clown. Nothing more than a clown.
Folks, how are you? It's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to
I
move until we
mean,
get the total.
I'm only doing this because someone.
The total initiative
said
relative to what we're
Biden
going to do
speaks
with
better than
more
Trump.
border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump? I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule.
The fact that Trump kept
Look, there's
a
young
straight
women
face
who
during
have
this is just
including a young
outstanding.
woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal: there's a lot of young women being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters. It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
Number 3.
Making
Making fun of someone who was born with a speech impediment. Very MAGA of you.
It's so soft. So soft. That's why you'd never make it out here, man. You'd never make it. You couldn't deal with the people talking stuff. We're not making fun of his speech impediment. We're making fun of his brain impediment. And the fact that people voted for him, people supported him, people pretended like they didn't see it. I'm not making fun of the fact that his mental decline. We all are going to have to face something like that one day. We're making fun of the fact that there's so many useful idiots, so many ignorant people, so many people out there who strictly only read the headlines and they just believe whatever they're told.
We find him
like he should be president,
for Black
qualified to do it,
and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses.
I don't think this person likes
In
ICE.
addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that Black families have to make relative to childcare.
I mean, it's just like, holy moly.
In our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with.
Of course, Mags doesn't play whatever I tell him to play when I tell him to play it. See? Yeah.
Shut up.
I play what I want. We all know that he said that. I know that he said that. I've already agreed that I don't like that. What do you need me to play it for? I'm sure you have it on speed. I'm sure you have it on like speed dial or something, whatever you can call that.
Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
Yes.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President.
We finally beat
President
Medicare.
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death. I will tell you, not only for there, but throughout the.
Oh, sound pretty triggered for such a soft comment. I've never been triggered. I don't get triggered. You can try. People have been trying for years. I don't get triggered because I don't really care what people say. That's the thing. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you insult me. That's not going to make me all angry and ruin my day. I'm not going to think about it. More ice. What else? I'm going to finish that
Entire
out.
world, we're no
Let's
longer
finish that out.
respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame.
What ED meds do you take to cope with high gas prices? Why would ED medication help? I don't know. I don't mess with any of that stuff. Although I did have a buddy in the Army that told me one time, he said, "Hey man, I don't need it or anything, but if you ever get the chance to take Viagra, do it." Like, nah, I think I'll pass. Don't you want to show how stupid he sounds? No one said that Trump makes mistakes too. He's not the greatest speaker in the world. Biden was completely gone, mentally gone, out to lunch, just gone. And people still will sit there and say, well, Trump's was bad at speaking, or Trump slips on his words once in a while. Is that where we are? Final debate with Joe. Guy responding to your con. Let us enjoy Biden living rent-free in our head. I'm loving it. It's good to have a flashback once in a while. Yeah, right. Grow a pair, get a helmet. That's pretty much it, right? I could play Biden gaffes. I have some on my own channel. Maybe we should do that one day. I'll put together like a little thing. We can sit and talk and watch it. Watch all the liberals in the chat get angry. It'll be perfect. MAGA is upset that Biden had better gas prices. You're just making stuff up now, huh? Just making it up. Biden had better gas. Okay, sure he did. This is a good example. The headline said that Biden had lower gas prices. Not the case at all. But there might be some stupid little thing in there. So, on January 19th at 5:32 in the afternoon for 5 seconds, Biden had lower gas prices. So then they just say Biden had lower gas prices, and all the morons out there read the headline and go, "Hey, Biden had better gas prices." Recent update: Barron still hasn't enlisted, and he won't. Hopefully not. I don't think he'd make a very good soldier. It must suck to not be an American. I can't imagine how bad it would suck to not be an American. Honest to Pete. Thank God we all won the lottery and we're born in America. There's another. I'm not going to play that either, but I'd like to play a little bit of the 2020 debate highlights and stuff. I think we're going to have to do that. I think I might get into that. Maybe we could do a comparison video or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to see if I have time to put something like that together. Yeah, January 6th was way worse than 9/11. They said, yeah. This is a good example of someone who believes all the headlines. MAGA is a movement, as a movement, already perished. You just don't know it yet. Okay, keep preaching that. Keep preaching that. I'm sure that's accurate. I am sure that's accurate. You're right. So you should probably stop fighting against us. Yeah, right. Michael. Carrie, what do you think of Trump taking $230 million from AIPAC? Oh, we don't like it. I don't like it. There's always going to be things we don't like that happen in politics, man. You can't just throw someone under the bus because they do a couple things you don't like. He's doing an amazing job as president. Amazing. After midterms, mags will go into hiding again. When did I ever go into hiding again? I don't know. If they win the midterms, there'll be more to talk about. There'll be more to talk about then. When are you being deployed to Iran, dude? Be a good boy and serve your masters in Tel Aviv. I'm a little old now. I mean, I'll put the uniform back on if I need to, but I'm a bit old now. You think going to war is amazing? I think the way he's doing it is pretty darn good. I think that it's not going to be a forever war. I feel like we're not going to fall into the same mistakes and quagmires that we did before under this president. Do I like it? I'm not real sure. Let's see what the outcome is. But he's impressed me every single time he's used the military so far. I'm impressed with it every single time. So let's see what happens. Don't worry, he'll be here to check. My master is in heaven. Amen. Trump is Bush 2.0, but this time he will bankrupt the country. Okay, if you say so. I don't see any comparison where he's Bush 2.0. He railed against the Iraqi war for years. He did. Until the midterms. After the midterms, Trump is still your president. Yep. We'll have to get used to it. You know, it is what it is. Trump's going to be the president, and it is what it is. I got to play a little bit. If I remember right, the first debate in 2020 was a little rough for Trump. Like, he was angry. He was mad. It seemed like.
And militia groups.
Sure. Stand back and stand by.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, are you in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow it.
Are you in favor of?
It's crazy how much Biden declined in those. He was declined there. He was bad there, but when after that, obviously, it went downhill pretty badly. Love MAGA and I love our President Trump, greatest president ever. Democrats are demons. I don't agree with the demons part, but maybe they're influenced by demons. That might be a better way to put it. Yeah.
Law and order. Go
Yes,
ahead.
You asked a question. Let him finish.
Law and order.
Let him.
Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly.
Mr. President, I'm the moderator of
This
this
was
debate.
whenever Trump had to debate against Biden and the moderator.
And I would
Where'd
like
he go after that? Oh, yeah, he disappeared, didn't he?
to let me ask my question, and then you can answer.
Go ahead. Your party
That is
wants to
simple.
go socialist
My
medicine
party is
and
me.
socialist
Right
healthcare.
now, I am
and
the
they're going to
Democratic
dominate
Party.
you, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the
Not according
Democratic
to
Party
Harris.
is what I, in fact, approved of.
First of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised.
The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you
I just
agree.
want to
Hey,
make sure.
Joe, you're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated
Trump
last
wasn't
year,
as good
last year.
as he is
On
now.
Bo Biden, you're talking
I don't know.
about.
I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah, you
Hunter
know
got
Bo.
thrown. Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He
for
wasn't dishonorably.
cocaine use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you
None of
became
that
vice
is
president,
true.
he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is simply
and various
not
other places.
true.
He
My
made
son,
a fortune,
my son,
and he didn't have a job.
my son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
Do you believe that human pollution, greenhouse gas emissions contributes to the global warming of this
I think
planet?
a lot of things do, but
MAGA misses Sleepy Joe and his better economy.
to do better management of our forests, where they
Not
want to
true.
take out the cows too.
Not
You know, that's not true either, right?
He cannot stop you from being able to determine the outcome of this election. And in terms of whether or not, when the votes are counted and they're all counted, that will be accepted. If I win, that will be accepted. If I lose, that'll be accepted.
It's all over the country. If it's a fair
You're urging
election,
them what?
I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that.
Our military,
Well said.
they've been voting.
Well said. So this guy talks all this talk and is insecure about his baldness. Huh? Is that me? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I have hair. I totally have hair. I totally have hair.
Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. I totally have hair, bro. It's time to get our Saturday moving. It's time to get our Saturday moving. Uh-oh. Got beeping and dinging going on over here. I got stuff to take care of. I got plumbing to do. What's wrong with mail-in voting? Nothing's wrong with mail-in voting when it's necessary, but not for everybody. We shouldn't all be mail-in voting. That shouldn't be happening. It should be for people that are either shut-ins or the military that are out. You know, they can't vote, that kind of stuff. I'm doing pretty well for myself. Happy most of the time. Got a good woman. That's always nice to have. I got me a good woman, too. Old white guys with beards and glasses. Alpha male. Yes, alpha male. Thanks for noticing. I appreciate that. Thanks for noticing. I appreciate it. Hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. It's the weekend. Let's try to enjoy it. Let's not be so angry with each other and mad about things. I love you. Yes. Well, it's because they don't know my character. Well, some of them do, and they just refuse to admit they just hate me. They hate me. They hate me. I'll still be here. You guys will still be in the audience. That's all right. At least like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Check out MagAmericans.com for more info and links. And make sure you check out my Substack where I put my articles and things like that. Shop.MagAmericans.com because we don't grift here. We sell merch. Hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. It's time to cue all the haters, come out of the shadows, put a couple comments in the chat. Make sure you comment afterwards and like, share, and subscribe because we all know that you just love it here. Until next time, God bless. Smile to strangers, pray for your enemies.